Hi everyone, today I'll show you how to fix some common errors. It won't fix any game, but you can try some of the methods to try to run the game, and you are know surely this type of message like this, yes. And this has a lot of reasons why this error appears. It may be a bad copy, or wrong Wine version, or wrong Wine D3D, or you didn't launch virtual overlay correct, or you run Exagear on an unsupported device. For example, you use the Exagear with turnip mode but have a Mali device, it won't work, so you will get this error every time. So the first thing you can do, you can try another DirectX version, which won't work too. Here we go. And sometimes it helps to run the games in windowed mode, and Capcom games always create some data. In Devil May Cry 4 not, but you can install the game on a PC, run it once, then quit again and copy those files to your stick and then to your phone, so you can configure the graphic settings outside the game. So let's do it. We have this content from a PC, copy that to that folder, and this config ini, you will find this in most games, and you can edit it. So here you can see, here's full screen off, VSync off. You can also choose your resolution, custom resolution, and that would help. So full screen off means in windowed mode, and let's see if Devil May Cry runs again. In this case, I know DirectX 9 won't work with Exagear. I tried it several times, it won't work, but DirectX 10 will work. So as you can see, we are in windowed mode, and this game runs now only because of the windowed mode. This method also works with Resident Evil 5, and that's why Resident Evil 5 worked with this method. So we can here let this them all high. It's Poco F3, and you can see, let's check the sound, and it runs. This is one thing you can try in games to get past this error message. See, it's fully playable, but you saw that already in my other videos, and we can quit. Okay, let's start it again. So let's show you another example right there. Let's run this. Okay, here we go. Let's run ETS2. And you will get this message. So what we can do, as you see, this Exagear is on Wine 3.05. It's really low, and in the second method you can, or you have to try these games on different Wine versions to get maybe a game working. So we can definitely see, okay, it's not working with Wine 3.05. Let's try Wine 5 again and see if it's working. Okay, ETS. Here we go. Okay, and also an error message. It's not working. And now at least wine 6. It has nothing to do if this cache is from Alien or Hugo. It's just about the wine version. And you can see now running ETS2 on wine 6. And see, it's working. So this is the second method you can try. Just try it on different wine versions and maybe you are lucky and got this game running. This is the same like Devil May Cry 4. I will show you as demonstration. Devil May Cry will run only in wine 6 or higher. I couldn't run it, or I never could run it in lower wine version. You will see it won't have a window, it crashed directly. So this is the second method you can try to get past the error message. Okay. Let's start again. Okay. And some games ETS, for example, didn't work with Wine 4. With this new version of 3.42 it works now, but before that some Wine 3D3D didn't work with ETS2. That means if a game is not booting or not launching it or didn't do anything, you can try different Wine D3D versions and you will see it will run or not. Better you check it in Task Manager 2 if the game disappears from the window or not, and just try out what's the best for the game. This experimental are also not working in some games, so we have to try to use the normal ones or these patched DLL files to get a game working. So this is the third method to get a game working or to get past this error message if you choose another Wine DVD version. So if you are a Mali user or use anything with WorldGL overlay mode, so let's quit and use the Hugo caches, and for example this and this. Let's configure it first for WorldGL overlay mode. So we install Mesa version, let's use this. Okay, now we quit turnip mode and we have this type. If you are a WorldGL overlay user, you have to check these boxes to get it working and start services. If you don't do that, the game will also show this message on every exe you want to launch. And the webcam won't work anyway, but ETS is a game that definitely works with the game. So for example, let's try another game, well, because this game is not working with Wine 5. Let's do that in Wine 6 too. Okay, didn't start any services. Let's configure it to WorldGL overlay first. And I will show you one more thing what is important too. This HUD number 1 is responsible for the FPS meter in the games, like this. So if this HUD is on, you will get this FPS meter, and this is not working with virtual. It will break any game you want to launch. I will show you. Let's get Mesa 21, virtual OpenGL 3.3, and windy 3D. We can use this. Okay. So everything is correct. Clean service, start services, and then launch the game. Here we go. Now let's check if it's working. And boom, you will get this error message again. So what we have to do is to deactivate this FPS meter. It only works with turnip mode and visual for Snapdragon, so it's not useful for Mali or Exynos anyway. So change it to 0, so it's deactivated. Let's save it. I have auto service on, so I don't need to close and run Exagear again. And let's try ETS again. Oh, still crash. Okay, let's do this again. We have deactivated it. Let's do a check with there. Okay, everything's okay. Clean services, start services, and then run it again. First, let's check the TFM if it's correct, because a virtual overlay needs a specific command. Yes, there it is. There's a resoc. It doesn't need, but this retest win1 is needed to get virtual overlay working. So this should be fine. And see, it's working. So you have to deactivate the HUD and have to make sure that the services is running. So if you're a Mali user, don't forget to hit clean services and start services before you run any game, okay? So that's for it. Let's run it to turnip again. Okay, OpenGL, and the shortcut is updated. So another thing which can cause this error is, as I said, if the game is a bad copy, or sometimes it's very rare, and if a game has version 1.5, for example, it won't work, but older versions like Vanilla or 1.0 will run on Exagear too. So it depends also on the version and from the crack itself, Dead Space 2 is the best example. I tried it with several cracked game. It's not working with the Steam and unlocked version. El Amigos is also not working. It's also not working with other versions. The only one is it's a specific one from Repack Fit Girl, if you didn't hear it again. And this is the only version which work. Every other single game will get this error instantly, but with this version you can get past this error message and can run the game. And it's also with Need for Speed Undercover. If you use the El Amigos edition, you will get to the first logo, but if the game want to get in the menu, it will crash, and we might think, okay, this game is not compatible. But if you use the game with a Plaza version from another cracker, this one can run it without problems. So you need to test not just from the source, you need to check several games to get it working. So you can see it works, but really any other version of Dead Space 2 didn't work. So you might try many sources of the game to get the game running. So this is not really a fix, but you can try more to get it working. So start it again. Let's see if we can get another example. Sure. We don't have the games there yet, but some newer games from 2013 and higher. Some games only works with Windows Vista or Windows 7, so you have to make sure that you look at the system requirements and make sure that it matches, and change the Windows version. But it also depends on the games, because newer games uses DirectX 10 or 11. 11, I can't remember to get one game with DirectX 11 working. It's really only DirectX 9 and 10. And in some games DirectX 9 only works, and in some other games DirectX 10 works. So if you choose in some games Windows XP, it will forces, like Crysis for example. Crysis uses in Windows XP DirectX 9 version, and if you choose Windows Vista or 7, Crysis will run in DirectX 10 mode. You can also force this in command line to get it the correct DirectX working, and you can get past this error too. So, and another thing I wanted to tell is if newer games, if you want to run a newer game, some games like Dead Space 3 requires a higher resolution, at least 720p. So if you choose this, anything under 720p, the game won't launch. So make sure you test this too. If a game don't react or gives a message with a graphic cards error or set a wrong resolution, you need to check at least 720p. And Dead Space 3 is an example, and Devil May Cry 2013 also run at least with 720p, for me at least. And this is the way I got the games running too. Some GOG games requires also full HD, but it is very rare. But you can try different resolution. If a game gets an error or won't launch, you can use this fix too. Okay, I loaded up another game example. It's C-List. This game has might have another problem. If the game seems to not react after opening the exe file, you can always check this in Task Manager. That's my favorite. I always look for that. Let's do this and okay, double check and see. Okay, nothing happens. Let's recheck again, and you will see okay, it disappears. So what can we do about this? It has also many reasons why this disappear. It has to be in some games you need to choose another wine version, and the most reason is if you are missing some runtime files. You will get this in theory with the game. You install everything the game bought with, so you can install everything you have. Let's check it there. Only 32-bit works, 64-bit is not working. And some games will need framework to get it working, so you need to install these files if the game is coming with these files. So install everything. And now maybe we need to restart, but we can check in Task Manager again. Okay. And nothing happens. So let's try another version. Let's, for example, Windows 10. As suspected, not working. I ran this game last time with Wine 7. It might not working with Wine 6, but with Wine 7 you also had the same problem, but you needed just to install these framework files to get the game working. So let's try it again. Task Manager to see if the file is working. And nothing happens. So in theory I now need Wine 7. I didn't have it, but you can see on my channel that I run this game in Wine 7. So this is not compatible with Wine 6, and this is a method you can try. I repeat, if the exe disappears in Task Manager, it may work with other Wine versions. Oh, let's try. We didn't try it, so maybe it works with another Wine version. Nope. And you can try this. Then second one, you can try Change OS. And the third one, you need to install these framework files to get the game working. So this example was bad because I couldn't show it to run. Maybe some next time with another Wine version, but this is how I fix this mostly in games. So another reason why games won't run, it's because of the OpenGL versions. And as you can see, some games require 3.3, like Dark Souls or Prince of Persia, and Assassin's Creed sometimes also need OpenGL 3.3, so you overwrite it and you can working. For example, an old game, Medal of Honor, it requires an old Mesa version, so if you won't change anything, it stays black. And if you have a larger resolution, you can also see the error message. It has an OpenGL error. So what you need to do is to overwrite this OpenGL Mesa version. And for Medal of Honor, there is a special one. Thanks to Dennis. It's the Mesa extension max year to 2002. And if you set this, it will get past this OpenGL error. So this is saved in the shortcut. I will start this shortcut directly. Okay. And you will see now the game boots only because of the OpenGL version. So in some games you need to change it to a higher or a lower OpenGL version to get the game working, depending on the game. And an older game needs an older version. Okay, there we go. We can set, let's ignore this and start directly. To see that the game is working. Here we go. Oh, okay, you see it's working. So it helps if you change it. In Assassin's Creed 1 and Dark Souls 2 might have a black screen if you don't change it. In Assassin's Creed 1 or 2 you will get a white screen. Also in Prince of Persia 2008 you will get a white screen if you don't use this OpenGL override, I will call it now, to 3.3 or higher, and you will get past this error too. So I think that's the most examples I can show, and in my test you can see it's try and error, and if a game won't launch you can try all these methods to get maybe a game working, but sometimes there are games like Deadpool or Quake 4 and many other games that will still show this error. Although you check all Wine versions, all Wine T3D versions, D-Sound, Wine Sound versions, OpenGL versions. If you try all of them, install all framework files you will get, and if the game won't launch, then it won't launch, then the game is not working. So I hope I can help you with this video. You can try this with your desired game, and wish you good luck.